Hi folks, Will from MinIO here, and in this video we're going to walk you through getting started with MinIO AIStor. For those of you who are new to MinIO, we're going to talk a little bit about MinIO AIStor itself. We'll talk about some of the features that it has, and then we'll show you how to deploy the AIStor object store on bare metal Linux. By the end of this video, you're going to be able to describe all the components of MinIO AIStor. You're going to be able to take a look at how to deploy MinIO AIStor object store on bare metal Linux. You're also going to be able to deploy and set up an alias in the MinIO command line client. So the first topic here is really, what is MinIO AIStor? Well, let's dive right in there. MinIO AIStor is a component-based architecture focused on AI ML workloads. The AIStor components include the object store that you know and love already, but we've also added a load balancer, also encryption key management, and a bunch of AI workload tools. AIStor can be run directly on the operating system, that's what we call bare metal, or you can also deploy it via Kubernetes. When you're going to go ahead and deploy AIStor, it's going to run best for you on Linux with a 6.6 kernel or better. You can also run this on Windows or Mac OS, but in production, we strongly recommend using Linux. For AIStor and Kubernetes, various providers can be used. All of the top commercial Kubernetes providers are represented, including Red Hat OpenShift, Google Kubernetes Engine, and Amazon Elastic Kubernetes Service. For those of you who may be coming over to AIStor from the object store, we've got a bunch of new features that make AIStor the best option for production deployment. We've got this enterprise license that enables you to use our subnet engineering support. We've got an enterprise management console. We've got AI Hub, RDMA, prompt object, all kinds of different tools for your AI workloads. We are also fully compliant, and we work with your regulatory teams to make sure that we are part of that compliance. We also have all of that commercial Kubernetes integration. So lots of additional features when you're running MinIO AIStor. The various components of AIStor are where we're going to get into the details of how you're going to deploy. Today, what we're going to be talking about is just the AIStor object store. The object store is the core component of MinIO AIStor. All of the standard MinIO object store features are available, like versioning, replication, retention, erasure coding. It's all there for you. Your object store can also be managed directly via the MCCLI. The AIStor load balancer is a data-centric object storage firewall. It's very lightweight. You can run it alongside your AIStor object store service very easily. Fine-grained rules can be set at the bucket level, on prefixes, on objects. It allows you to really manage access to your AIStor object store at a very high level. Your AIStor key manager is the highly available KMS. It supports per object encryption. And we wrote this because we needed to be able to scale up to billions of cryptographic operations. And we were finding that a lot of the commercial KMS providers were not able to keep up. Multi-tenancy with enclaves for key isolation is also available with the AIStor key management system. We've also added a lot of AI workload features to AIStor, including the AI Hub, which is a private repository for all of your AI models and datasets. We have an MCP server for agentic access to manage your AIStor deployment. Prompt objects allows you to ask objects themselves directly about what's in them. They can compare to other objects. You can even use it to get details about the object itself. And we also now implement S3 Express, which is a lot of performance enhancements to support those AI workloads. And with that, let's go ahead and jump into deploying the AIStor object store. Now, if you're deploying on bare metal, which we're going to do in this example, we need a suitable Linux deployment. Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9.5, Ubuntu 24.04, those are great options. Those are supported options. The MinIO license has to be available from Subnet. You can also get a trial license if you want to just try this out. You also need to have some appropriate accounts. When you're installing on bare metal Linux, you need to have an account with root access because we're going to be doing package install. And we're also going to need to enable a service account called MinIO user that the actual MinIO service is going to be using to run. Now, when you're going to install AIStor, you can install it via a binary download, which allows you to just download a pre-built binary and put it wherever you like. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be using one of our RPMs that we publish out there on our downloads page. We also have Debian installs if you want to use that on Ubuntu. So in this example, we're going to be using the DNF service for the RPM. And it's really just very simple. We're going to do a DNF install, and that is the URL that we're going to be using to download the RPM. Once we have the RPM installed, we are going to take a look at the systemd service file. This is going to be under the systems directory. It's MinIO service. It looks for an environment file in etc defaults MinIO. This is where you're going to do most of your editing. That service file is designed to use a MinIO user system account. The environment file itself should set up at a very minimum a root user and a root password. These will default to MinIO admin. You do not want to use the defaults. You also need to set up the MinIO volumes. That's where the data is going to be stored. They need to be drive mounts for AIStor. The MinIO license has to point to the MinIO license location, and you can also set up MinIO options for the console and the API ports. That's a very minimalistic environment file, and that's what we're going to be using in our example. So here's the example Etsy defaults MinIO file. As you can see here, I've got my license location. I'm set up my console and my API ports on 9090 and 9000. I also have 4 data directories, mount data 1 through 4. You can use that expansion notation to make things easier. And I'm using a root user called admin root, and the password is the worst password ever. And the reason why I've set that is because you do not want to copy this and use it in production. With that, you can then start up your AIStor object store with a very simple sudo system control start MinIO, and you can log into the console on 9090. You can log in with your admin user and password. If you want to control MinIO from the command line, which is in many cases the preferred way for system administrators to do it, we have an MCLI client that you can use with AIStor. The installation is similar to the AIStor install itself. You just use that DNF install and you install the MC Enterprise RPM. Once you have set this up, you will need to set up an alias to talk to your MinIO AIStor server. What I've done here is using the bash shell, I've turned the history off because as you can see, you're going to be typing a password right there on the command line. You might not want that in your history. When we do the demo, I'm not going to turn the history off. It's just a demo, and I'm doing it just in a virtual machine. But here I'm setting up MCLI alias set. Local is the name of the alias. The URL I'm connecting to, notice this is 9000, not 9090. That's your API port, and I'm using admin root and the worst password ever to connect to this. Let's go ahead and do a demo of all this so that you can see exactly what we're talking about.